Hello and welcome. I'm Cindy. I blog over at DIYBeautify.com, where I am passionate about showing you how to create a beautiful home on a tight budget. And today's project is super thrifty. So I started with, this is one of those orange foam pumpkins you can buy at Dollar Tree for $1. And a few years ago I painted it this minty green, and it was cute for a while, and I'm just kind of over it. So I'm going to show you today how to upcycle those old pumpkins you have. Rather than getting rid of this, let's turn it into something completely different. So this was the exact same pumpkin. It was mint green. This stem, this whole thing is something I'm going to share in another tutorial, but it's super easy to do as well. But this is for all of you who like the look of sweater pumpkins, and maybe you just can't find the right sweater at Goodwill, or they're too expensive. Like, Goodwill prices have gone up. So this is a really thrifty way to use about a half a ball of yarn, and we're going to create this sweater look. Now, the way I got this was I created a crochet chain, and stop you right there. I do not crochet. It's like I can't. I've tried. I can craft anything else, but I can't crochet. But what I can do is I can crochet a chain, and I'm going to show you how to do this, even though, like I said, I'm not a crocheter. But what you do is you just create this long chain using a ball of yarn. And like I said, I think I used just over a half a ball for this pumpkin. So my yarn was on sale. It was about $3.50 plus the pumpkin that was $1. So at under $5, really cute little fall decor piece. Now, I have done this with ornaments at Christmas using this macrame yarn or thread or whatever you want to call it. And I have also created some of this crochet chain. I like the texture of this. Both of the products that I used, both of the yarns I used are cotton, and I really feel cotton makes a huge difference in the feel of the final product. But you know what? If you're shopping at Walmart and you grab, like I did, a ball of this fluffy yarn, I think it's acrylic or chenille, that's what I'm going to demonstrate with today, because this will work perfectly fine. So let me just turn my camera and I'll show you how we start making this crochet chain. Okay, like I mentioned, I do not crochet. I've tried to figure it out and it's just not, I can't figure it out. So today I'm going to just show you how to do the crochet chain, which really is not crochet, but you will be using a crochet hook, and you'll need some yarn. The first thing to do is just to obviously get the end of your yarn. This is seriously for total newbies. And you want to just make a loop, pull it through, so you have a little loop on the end of your yarn. Okay, then we're going to stick the crochet needle through and tighten it just slightly. I think the big issue with me with crochet is that it's so different from knitting, and how you hold your yarn is just super complicated for me, because you want to keep tension at times, but at other times you want it to be loose so that the yarn can feed through. What I have found to be the easiest way, and this is, like I'm saying, for people that can't figure out how to crochet, I take the end of the yarn opposite my crochet hook and feed it like this through my pinky and then over my forefinger. This allows me to, when I need it to be tight, I can squeeze my fingers together and pinch it to stop the tension or to add more tension. And when I need to release the tension, I can just let go like that. So to crochet a chain, you take your hook and you pass it through the loop you made. You grab a hold of the yarn, you give the crochet hook a little twist, and you pull it through your hole. And this chenille it's not easy to work with. So this may not actually, I should see if I have some different yarn. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, let's try it with this pink yarn. Even though it's not as thick as what I use for my pumpkins, this will give us, you'll be able to see what I'm doing better, I think. The chenille is just too fluffy. Okay, so I made the loop. You wanna loosen the yarn from your ball. I'm gonna pass it under my pinky and over my forefinger. All right. And then I use my thumb and my middle finger when I need to kind of pinch it, because I do tend to hold the knot. I'll show you more as we get going. Okay, so you're gonna pass it, grab that yarn, whoops, and pull it through your hole. This is where I would pinch to hold it. And then you do it again. And you're creating the chain. Now this is something that I've found is super easy to do when I'm watching TV or just, you know, relaxing in the evening. It goes very quick and you can see the chain that we're making. It kind of looks like cable knit. So if I lose my way, I just, whoops. See, already I've forgotten what I did. Okay, so once I've gotten a few pieces like this done, then it's much easier. Every time I'm going to twist my yarn around the crochet hook, that's when I pinch this to hold it tight, and it creates some tension, because when it's loose, then you won't be able to do that. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not an expert, and you can see that my crocheted chain is, you know, it's thinner in some areas. I don't know why it's twisted in some areas, but overall it's cute, and it's going to just give us the look that we want. And I'm going to show you now what we do on our pumpkin. If you are working with a pumpkin, like one of those bright orange ones that you bought from the dollar store, I would definitely go ahead and paint it. It doesn't need to be the exact color of your yarn. It just needs to be a kind of a neutral color to disguise that orange, because you can see that really we're just gluing rows of the yarn together, but you don't want any of that garish orange peeking through and ruining the look of your little pumpkin. So all I did to start is I popped the stem out, and you can just pull it out, it's really easy, and I stuck the end of my yarn down in the hole, which is actually going to help hold everything in place. And you have to have your hot glue nice and ready to go, because you're going to need a lot of it for this project. Let's just stick a little dab of hot glue on the end there to get us started. Okay, now because this pumpkin's small, it's going to take my finger to help hold it in place and maneuver it around, but you want to make sure that your chain is just lying nice and flat. And then we just add some more hot glue and give it a little press as you hold it in place, and at the same time turn it, because that's a small little circle. Once you get to where you started, you're literally just going to pass right by that opening and glue your chain in place so that it holds it nice. And then the only trick to doing this is you want to keep your chain in the rows pressed tightly against the row before. You don't want to have any gaps, because that closeness is what gives this the look of a true cable knit sweater. It's really hard to tell when you look at it and it's all completed that it's not made from a sweater. Just keep gluing around, and I do put my glue fairly close to the row above. That just makes sure that I'm getting the glue where I need it to. Okay, so I'm going to carry on gluing this chain around the pumpkin, and I'll stop back in when I'm about halfway and show you how it's going. I do want to mention one thing while I'm still kind of at the beginning here. Most pumpkins, even the faux ones, have these ridges, or that creates the segments and makes them look more real. So as you're gluing the chain around the pumpkin, just kind of press the chain everywhere where that ridge, where you see a ridge. I mean, I don't know that it's going to make that much of a difference, but you can see on this one how I was able to achieve the look of the ridge, especially right in this section. The rest of it's a little bit one-dimensional, but that'll help it look, I don't know, just a little less than a round blob. All right, I'm going to keep gluing. Okay, I'm about halfway done gluing my crochet chain onto this pumpkin, and I'm a little worried I might run out of yarn, so I'm going to try to be a little less generous with it. The thing about cotton yarn is that you can stretch it too. So I'm going to slightly stretch it a little bit. I'm not going to be so concerned about pushing it up into like super close to the chain above it. And we will see if I can finish this and not run out of chain. This is just one of those things that happens and you don't know until you start it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Okay, I think we're actually going to be good. Thank goodness. You can see that I'm doing the bottom now, and even though I started off, very evenly doing my circle around the front, because I had to jog down to match the next row, it's not going to be a perfectly even at the bottom, but that doesn't matter. No one's really going to see it, and it's all going to blend together anyway. So just keep gluing your chain. I'll try to angle it so that you can see what I'm doing. I think I've gone through about 4 glue sticks on this little pumpkin. And I'm definitely going to have to blow dry my glue sticks to melt them off. Not my glue sticks, I'm sorry, all the threads. You know what it's like when you hot glue something, you have all those threads. You don't have to add the yarn to the bottom of the pumpkin if you're going to be attaching it to something, but a lot of the times I put my pumpkins in a basket, and sometimes it looks more natural to have, it on its side. And if you might have a chance of seeing the bottom, just make sure that you finish it off nicely. Okay, we're almost at the end there. I'm gonna get my scissors, which I forgot to grab, and we'll glue that last little piece. I apologize for that. This is one of those real life scenarios where I wasn't fully prepared for this video today, but I wanted to get it done. All right, so I have just one little piece left. Add some glue, and I'm just gonna tuck all those loose threads in. And it really, it just disappears. And you can see as you look around the pumpkin, you can't see the green at all underneath. It's not showing. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little stick to it, and I'll show you how both of them look in my home.